Hello and welcome to the 8th weekly update in this journal that is sure to someday win awards as I document my quest to make a feature motion picture known as Brian's Big Movie. And that's it. That's the intro. Someday soon, I really need to get a new monitor for the computer on which I edit these videos, because I'm noticing that I load the footage, I edit it, and then I go in and do the color correcting, which is where I make the image look right, because video cameras do not record things with the automated way that the human eye sees them. And so you end up with footage that needs to be shifted from a blue to a red. In my case, it very often needs to be brightened because I don't really have a lot of light right here in this room. And then because I can't load it to YouTube from here, because I'm editing them on a very old computer that the internet has left it behind. It won't open YouTube. So I have to take the file and move it to my laptop and then load it to the internet. And I notice on the laptop and the monitor that's connected to that it's automatically a whole lot brighter than it looks on this other computer. So, yeah, I think something's wrong with that monitor. Or maybe it's just old, or I don't know. But I apologize if over the past 7 episodes, and probably this one included, things haven't looked quite right, or they've certainly looked inconsistent from one episode to another. The whopping 2 or 3 people who are watching, I'm sure, have been ready to officially complain, but it is what it is. And I don't know if it's me, but my voice doesn't even sound really all there today. I know other family members are catching things, and so I'm going to stay in here for a while. But I've got some tea. Let's talk about what has happened and how it relates to my vision, my current vision for the documentary, The Better Body Starter Kit for Men, where it fits in. What I've started with is collecting interviews from ordinary, real-world people. Not scripted, not pre-planned, just, hey, if you are into fitness at all, would you sit down with me and spend 20 to 30 minutes of your life answering some questions? And I stress real-world, ordinary people because I do want some interviews with personal trainers. I want some interviews with highly educated people, highly specialized people in the fields of kinesiology and diet and nutrition and such. But I also want interviews with people who are just out there trying and get their honest answers. And I started with that because it's the part I can do basically for free right here in town. Once I got hold of the camera and the editing laptop and software, I can get people to talk with me for 20 minutes for nothing. I just drive to their house, or they drive to me. And that's not to say I don't want to pay people, but we don't have the budget. So until I have the budget, or until this film actually makes any kind of profit whatsoever, I need to keep costs low. So that's what I started with, even though those interviews are not going to be the bulk of the film. I have about 16 or 17 hours worth, but it's not even the point of the film. The interviews will be so that in between, or maybe sometimes even headlining an education module of the film, if we're talking about diet and nutrition, what are people eating to get where they need to get? If we're talking about exercise, what are other people doing? What are their goals? What are they aiming for, and how are they getting there? And we'll include those things. And I do know the very end of the film will be a collection of their comments, their answers to the question, how does it make you feel to be getting in shape? Because we want to leave the viewers with that motivating message to get off the couch and start doing what you've just watched. Start living a lifestyle like this. You've gotten the basic instructions in it now. 2 hours. I almost said 2.5. I probably could make it 2.5, but that could get boring. We'll find out in the editing. In the editing process, the goal will be keep it lively, keep it moving, and make sure that we don't lose the audience's attention, even as we have to go through some pretty dry stuff. What are proteins and carbohydrates and fats? How do you get a good combination on your plate for getting stronger and not ballooning into something obese? The key will be to make it moving. So anyway, the interviews, as much as I've collected vast hours of them, will be boiled down into sound bites here and there. And that's what I was talking about, the ending. The ending of the film will be the inspirational quotes in particular. And we've had, excuse me, maybe I'm catching something. I hope not. But we've had some really good interviews. I think of one guy. He's a former military, and then he became a trucker, and he was born also with some kind of, I don't know if it's a degenerative disease, but it does prevent him from becoming, from staying healthy easily. He was told at one point he'd never walk again. And he basically said nuts to that. They were going to send him to a VA life care home in California. And he said, no. And he is now in the process of working his way up to running a marathon. And it's, the mindset, the turnaround there. Where was I going with that? I'm sitting here paying attention to the stopwatch and anyway, I was just talking about great interviews. It was so inspirational. I think his quote will there's a soundbite of his that will probably end the film. Just absolutely wonderful. Anyway, so what did I do this week? That's ultimately what I was trying to get around to. I think sometimes 10 minutes is going to be too short for these. I might have to expand a little bit in the future, but I did put out a Craigslist notice to get some more interviews. I've got 31 general population interviews and 3 professional ones. I want to get a few more general population ones, but there's only so much I can do with that, so I don't want to get too many more. I got a couple of friends I'm still trying to talk into it, but the Craigslist ad netted me 2 more. Just got a text from somebody I met years ago living in town. He's coming back through town, and if we've got the time, we'll get him on interview. And I got a 4th one, an older gentleman. If I can get their interviews and then a couple more friends, I think in terms of my seeking out interviewees, I will probably be done or very close to it. That's not to say I would turn down the opportunity to interview more people if they came to me, but I'm almost to the point where I'm done seeking them out. If I do continue to seek them out, I will start to get more specialized. I'd like to talk to some more older men to see what they're doing. Especially, I do know we have a guy in his 60s who is in bodybuilding competitions. I'd like to get his story and others. So it's work to be done. But I said last week I'd try to get things going so that there'd be things to talk about. And the big thing to talk about is that I put a notice up on Craigslist, and I have 4 people to contact and line up interviews with. Yay! All right, I'm going to finish my tea. I'm going to stop talking because I have another video to make for another channel. And we'll see you next week. Hopefully with some more news, but it'll be March 2nd at that point, and we'll be down to 7 months. I'm hoping to finish this film by the end of September or the start of October. Okay, gotta go.